Storing up treasures in heaven, as Jesus talks about it here, is seeing people and possessions and plans through the eyes of eternity. Everybody say the eyes of eternity. In Matthew 6 and verse 22, he says, the lamp of the body is the eye. And therefore, if your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? Now this is really interesting to me. If you have a good eye, it means you look at your life not just based on the here and now, but based on eternity, based on God's perspective. Amen. As a matter of fact, you take it, it even went to another level in Hebrew culture, because the presupposition, the understanding is that God is the giver of life. That God is the source of love, right? So God is a giver of life and love and liberty, right? Freedom, that's who God is. And so when you talk about having a good eye, it was the idea of having a generous spirit. It was the idea of you build others up, you don't tear them down. That you see others from the light of eternity, amen? And so if someone in Hebrew culture, when Jesus was talking, would say, hey, he's got a good eye, they'd literally be saying, oh, he's so generous. Oh, they're so giving. Or, oh, they help people all the time. I think about people in our own congregation that maybe go serve at the Dream Center, or serve with Mission Southside, or serve with our youth ministry, or any number of things, go on mission trips, who live beyond themselves. I could look at them and say, oh, she's got a good eye, or he's got a good eye. In other words, they live their lives beyond just what's in it for me. So having good eyes impacts every area of our lives. It affects our relationships, our temptations, our dreams, our priorities, our schedules. So we have to ask ourselves, do I live my life with a good eye? Do I live it with an eternal vision? Do I live it with a heavenly perspective? We're gonna have a heavenly perspective. In other words, as we face inclines, as we face curves, as we see cliffs, we're going to already have a presupposition of God's view of those circumstances. Why? Because we're tapped into the source. Aren't you glad we can do that?